Hello everyone. Rebecca's washing machine is just being delivered right now, so you've got me starting off the class. Hopefully you can hear me. Can everyone hear? Excellent. My microphone is working. Awesome. So we'll just make sure we've got some space. Hope everyone's all right. And there's everyone. Yep, hopefully you can see me there. There we go. Okay, so that's not the right button. Let's start, isn't it? There we go, now I can see. Okay, find yourselves a nice space so that you've got your feet standing hip width apart. Let's just get nice and comfortable on our feet first of all. So make sure you've got your weight going down through your feet and you're not too far onto your toes or onto your heels. Keeping your knees nice and relaxed. And let's just start by circling through the shoulders, opening up through the chest. Nice. Okay. As we're going to do this, we're going to take a few deep breaths. So we're going to do a nice deep breath in as we circle up and breathe out as we circle the shoulders round. That's it. Good. Breathe in, circle it up. Breathe out as it goes round. And let's bring the arms in. So breathing in as your arms come up. Breathe out as your arms come down. Breathe in as you go up. And breathe out as you go down. So we're really trying to open up the lungs, open up the rib cage, and do some nice big circles. Super. Good. Let's bring a little bit of balance in. So as your arms come up, let's come up onto tiptoes and down onto your heels as you come down. So we're breathing in as you're coming up and breathing out as you're circling around. Breathe in as you come up. Breathe out as you circle around. Good. A few more. Come all the way up onto your tiptoes and lower down onto your heels as you come down. Breathing in to come up. Breathe out, come back down. Lovely. Two more. That's it. Good. And breathing in as you come up. Breathe out as you come down. Perfect. Just circle through the arms. Release your arms out. There we go. Okay. So let's bring your arms out in front of you. Pop your shoulder blades down into your back pockets. So we've got nice long spine. Make sure that as you bring your arms into this position, we don't end up arching through the back. So keep your bottom tucked under. Think about this nice line between ear, shoulder, hips and feet. Okay, and we are going to breathe out as you twist round to one side. Keep your hips facing forwards. Breathe in as you come back to the center. Breathe out, go round to the other side. And breathe in as you come to the center. Keep your hips fixed facing forwards so the twist is coming all the way nicely through your spine, through that center part there. Breathing out to the side. Breathe in, come back to center. Breathe out to come to the side. Breathe in to come to center. Couple more. Just focus on those hips. Make sure they don't twist around with you. Awesome. Okay, let's add a little bit of a balance and a challenge in with this. So as you breathe out to the side, you're going to then raise up onto your tiptoes and then control it down. So you're rolling through your feet as you come back to the center. And you're coming to the other side. Breathe out. Roll up onto your toes. Breathe out as you come back down. Good. A little bit of balance challenge there. Okay, now it makes it a little bit more challenging. So as you twist to the side and you're coming up onto your tiptoes, it makes you want to twist your hips even more. So you're going to have to work even harder through that center part there. So slowly twist to the side, come up onto your toes. Watch your hips haven't come around with you and lower yourself back down. Good. We'll do a couple more. Super. Center, one for each side. There we go. And last one to this side. Breathe out as you go to the side. Breathe in as you come back to the center. Perfect. Okay. Relax through the legs through there. We're going to make our way down to the mat, but we're going to do it in 3 stages as we roll down. So start up nice and tall. You've got your feet hip width apart. You're lengthening up through your spine. Shoulders around into back pockets. Okay, when you're ready, you're going to imagine you've got a real ripe piece of fruit underneath your chin. So lengthen the back of your neck, bring your head down as if you're looking down towards your toes. Now we're not going any further than sort of upper chest area And then you're going to roll yourself back up again, shoulders back and down. 2 more in that position. So chin towards your chest, lengthen the back of the neck, just looking down. We're just opening up that upper part of the spine and then coming back up. Last one, chin towards your chest, lower yourself down in that position and come back up. So the next time we go down, we're coming down all towards the waist. Now, as you make your way down, the temptation is to do this with your bottom. So keep switched on with those glutes. Lengthen the back of your neck, chin towards your chest, look down towards your toes, and as your hands come down towards your knees, really work this area here to keep your tummy tucked under and roll back up again. Good. One more. Chin towards your chest, roll yourself down and tuck back up. Good. This time we're coming all the way down towards the floor. So we do it in the 3 stages. Lengthen the top of the neck. Chin comes down towards your chest. Turn your head, so tilt your head down so you're looking towards your toes. Now you're going to allow the upper part of your spine through the middle down towards the lower part. So I'm keeping bottom tucked under to this point here. And then I'm going to allow the hips to start to move as I work down towards the floor. And some of you will be able to get down hands flat on the floor. Some of you will only get like this, nowhere near. Okay, so when you are going down towards the floor, just bend your knees if you need to, so your hands make contact with the floor. Okay, and then you're going to walk your hands forward. So we're in this sort of down dog position. Let me come sideways so you can sort of see. So we end up in this position and we're just going to walk through your heels. So you're getting a nice stretch through the back of your through your calves, through your hamstrings. That's it. If you're not feeling the stretch, bring your feet a little bit closer and walk from there. My hamstrings are horrendously tight, so I need to be in this position. Okay, good. Bring yourself down onto all fours. Okay, I'm going to turn this way because that's the side my speaker is. Okay, so hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. We're going to go into our all four position here. That's it, perfect. So while you find your space, what we're just going to do is a few deep breaths and we're going to arch up through the spine and breathe out as you sink through. Good, breathe in, tuck under, arch through your spine and breathe out as you sink down and through. Good, breathe out, breathe in, sorry, tuck up, push your spine up towards the ceiling and breathe out. Find your position halfway between the two. So we've got a nice flat back. You're not arched and you're not over arched the other way. Okay, we are going to work with the legs. So a little further forwards there. So we're going to breathe out as you slide one leg back. This is the easy level. So breathe in as it comes back, breathe out as we stretch out. Level 2 is a little bit of a squeeze of your bottom so you get in a lift. And then draw it back in. We're alternating the legs, so you're breathing out as you lengthen, little squeeze if you want to, and draw it back in, swap sides, breathe out as you lengthen, little squeeze if you can, lower it down, bring it back in. Now watch, as you're doing this, the squeeze has got to come from your glutes, so it comes from your bottom muscles and not your hamstrings. So lift from your pelvis and your bottom, and draw it in as you release the muscles. Try not to use your hamstring muscles or the back of your leg to do the lifting. Perfect. One more on each side like this. And if anyone is really struggling with wrists, come down into this position if you need to. You can do the same exercise down there if your wrists are not liking it. Perfect. Good. Last one on this leg. And just take yourself into a little stretch. Stretch it out. Good. Okay, right, let's go for the arms this time. So find yourself back into neutral position. We're going to go with the arms. So you breathe out as you lengthen, breathe in as you come back down. Breathe out as you lengthen, breathe in as you come back down. We're just working through the arms. Imagine you've got that tray of drinks sitting across the tops of your shoulders. Breathe out to lengthen, breathe in to come back down. Breathe out as you lengthen, breathe in as you come back down. A few more. Breathe out and breathe in. Watch your shoulders don't come up near your ears. So think about lengthening those shoulder blades down through your spine, almost as if you're popping them down into opposite back pockets. Good. There we go. One more on each side. Breathe out as you lengthen. Breathe in as you come back. Take the weight off your wrists. Give them a little bit of a circle if you need to, or go full child's pose if that feels better for you. Super. And then we're going to come back and we're going to put the two together now. So back onto your all fours. And we go opposite arm to opposite leg. So as you breathe out and lengthen away with one leg, the opposite arm goes forward. Do a little bit of a lift with the leg if you can. Lower, draw back in. Breathe out as everything lengthens away. And breathe in as it comes back in. Good. Breathe out as we lengthen. Breathe in as you come back in. Good. Breathe out to lengthen. Breathe in as it comes back in. And keep going with that. And imagine you've got this laser pen coming through your tummy button and there is a big line down the centre of your mat. And that laser pen has got to stay pointing at that line. What you don't want to be doing is sort of shifting your weight from leg to leg as we swap sides. So we do a few more. Breathe out as you lengthen away. Breathe in to come back. Try and keep your tummy button right over that centre line of your mat. Good. And don't worry how high you lift your leg, that's not important. But the important thing is that it's your bottom that does the work and your glutes that do the work to lift and not the back of your leg or your hamstring or anything like that. Let's do one more on each side. Breathe out to lengthen, breathe in to come back in. Super. Last one on this side and come back in. Perfect. Take yourself into a little stretch whenever your back feels like it needs. Stretch out into your child pose, probably the best one for this. Perfect. Okay, let's get you lying onto your side. Okay, so what we need to do for this one is we're going to have bottom leg bent, top leg straight. Okay. Think about your spinal position. So we'll just talk through while you find a space onto your side. So think about spinal position. So shoulder, hips, knee, leg, everything is all in line, okay? You can have your head in this position or you can have your head lying onto your arm out straight, whichever feels most comfortable for you at the moment. The other important bit is this middle waist bit. So gravity is going to pull your waist down towards the mat. So what you need to do is just engage a little bit and think about lifting your waist up and away from the mat. And as you do that, really lengthen that top leg away from you at the same time. Okay, so we're going to breathe out as we lift the leg up and breathe in as we lower it back down. Good. Breathe out as you lift. Breathe in as it lowers back down. Let's get a bit more movement going through the legs. So point your toe as you go up. Dorsiflex, so bring your toes up towards your head as you lower it back down. Good. Breathe out as you lift. Breathe in as it comes back down. Good. And again, it's not about how high you lift the leg, it's about what goes on through this waist at the minute. So once you go past a certain level, it's almost natural that you will bend so far through here that you push your waist down towards the mat. So keep your focus at your waist and thinking about lifting through there. So as long as you can maintain that little bit of a lift, it might not physically lift off of the mat, that's absolutely fine. You just want to feel that it is drawing up and lifting. So a few more, just point your toe as you lift. Dorsiflex as it comes back down again. Two more. Point and dorsiflex to come down. Perfect. Good. Now let this top leg rest. You can keep it lying straight or ideally keep it lying straight if you're comfortable to do so. What I'd like you to do with the other arm is bring it up and over your head for now. So we're coming in this big long sort of stretched out position on your side. And we're going to take the top arm. So as you take a breath in, you're going to bring your arm up and down towards your side. Now that's super easy, okay? So we're going to bring in a little bit of work. So as you bring your arm up and over, I want you to imagine you've got this water balloon underneath your shoulder and you're drawing your shoulder blade down towards your back pocket as you draw the arm over. Okay, so we're just starting to engage the muscles. This is building the prep up work towards the exercise that we're going to do. So bring your arm up and over, draw that water balloon, squeeze it between your armpit and release. Good, two more, draw it up and over, feel it squeeze and release. Good, draw it up and over, draw your shoulder blade down, really feel it working. You should feel the muscles underneath here starting to really engage now and lower it back down. Perfect. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start to lift the body at the same time. Now the lift is really important. It doesn't come from your neck. Your neck is not doing this. What we are doing is we're using the lower part of the ribs as a pivot point. So what it's going to look like is as your arm comes up, we pivot from your waist and the lower part of your ribs to come down. Okay, your head kind of just, well, you are going to do a little bit of work with your head, but the work is not coming all through your neck. You are engaging through the muscles, through your rib cage, through your waist here. So it's imagining that the bottom of your ribs and your hip are getting closer together. Okay, so it's that side muscle that's working as you come up. Good. So doesn't matter which way you do the breathing for this, it's about the engagement of the muscles. So you can breathe in, breathe out, doesn't matter, as you come up and release it back down. But keep your focus in through this area here being the pivot, and you're imagining that your hips and your ribs are getting closer together as you come up. That gap is smaller, and then it's releasing as we come back down. Good, so you should really start to feel that muscle starting to kick in and work now. Okay, so last bit of the exercise now, we're going to bring the leg in as well. So as your arm comes up, leg comes up, and we are working through this muscle here and releasing. Good. Come up, lift and release. Good. Really feel that side muscle working. You're thinking about everything sort of squeezing in together around your waist. And just check, last thing you're doing, just check your shoulders are staying stacked on top of each other and your hips are staying stacked on top of each other, and we haven't started to collapse through that lower part of your waist. So you're still thinking about lifting your side off of the mat. Last one. Cool, there we go. And then just lengthen away. So from here, push your fingers away from you, push your toes away from you, feel that stretch, so it's sort of lengthening all the way through your side there. Super. Okay, spin yourself over onto the other side. Okay, get yourself nice and comfortable onto the other side. So remember, we're going to set up with the hips stacked on top of each other, shoulders stacked on top of each other, bottom leg is bent, top leg is straight. Okay, prep position, lift your waist up from the mat. So imagine you're drawing up through that center band area. Okay, and as we breathe out, we're going to lift and breathe in as you lower back down. Breathe out to lift. Breathe in to lower back down. Bring the ankle in. So point your toes as you go up. Dorsiflex, so bring your toes up towards you as you lower down. Point as you lift. Draw your toes up as you lower down. Good. Point to lift. Toes up to come down. We do two more like this. Point and lift. Heel pushes away as you come down. Last one. Point your toes to go up. Draw your toes up towards you as you lower down. Perfect. Let that top leg relax. Keep it lengthened so that you're keeping that waist lifted a little bit from the mat, and bring that top arm up and over. Okay, so we're going to take a nice deep breath in, lift the arm up and bring it down towards your side, bring it back over. That is the range of movement that we're working with. Now we need to switch the muscles on at the same time. So as your arm comes over, draw your shoulder blade down into your back pocket, and imagine this bit here, you're really squeezing that water balloon underneath your armpit, and release it as it comes back. Good. Lengthen, draw your shoulder blade back down, squeeze that water balloon, and release it as it comes back. A few more. Draw it over, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Think about that gap between your neck and your shoulder so you're not hunched up. Think about lengthening all the way to the length of your fingertips, and your arms coming back up and over. Lovely. Last one like this. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze that water balloon, and let it release and come back over. Right, let's do arm and leg together now. So as you come up, leg comes up, arm comes towards, so you're squeezing through your side muscles. You can really feel these muscles are activated and switched on now, and release. Lengthen everything away. Lift, squeeze through the waist, keep your hips stacked, keep your shoulders stacked, try not to roll over. Good. And lift when you're ready. Keep thinking about lifting that waist up from the mat. We'll do two more. Lift. Good. And release back down. Last one. Really, really squeeze everything together. Think about your ribs and your hips coming closer together. There we go. And release back down, and hold it in a nice stretch. So push your fingers away from you, push your leg away from you, and just feel that lengthening through. Super. Good. Okay, we're going to take you onto your back. I'm just going to spin around this way. We're going to go onto your back, get yourself comfortable in your neutral position. Okay, so we're going to put feet together, knees together, arms nice and relaxed by your side, neck nice and long. Okay, we're going to start first of all with the legs, and we're going to work it up through a spine rotation through our hips and our ribs. So as you breathe out, you're going to allow gravity to take over and drop your knees down towards the mat or towards the floor. But at this point here, we don't allow the hips to go with you just yet. Just get used to that feeling of dropping the knees down, draw them back up to center, off to the other side, drop the knees down. That's it, draw back up to center. Okay, now it might feel relatively easy at the minute, but what I'd like you to focus on is as you draw back up, really feel this sort of core band area working to draw in at the same time as you lift the legs back up. So it's not the legs that are doing the work, it's this area that's doing the work to draw back up. Breathe out as you lower down, keep your hip in contact with the mat and draw back up. Okay, one more like this, drop the knees down, don't let the hip raise, just draw back in with the abs. Perfect. Okay, so now this time, as you drop your knees down, we're going to allow the hip just to raise off, or the pelvis just to raise off of the mat. On the way back, push. So really internally work to push your hip back down onto the mat. Now you'll feel the core muscles engage a little bit more as they work to draw the knees back up to center. Okay, off to the other side. Let the knees drop down. Let gravity take over first of all, and then the hip will start to raise up. Good. Work on the way back. Draw that hip back down. Now you'll feel this all really switch on as you draw your knees back up to center. Good. Drop the knees off to the side. We're alternating sides. Hip allows to come up. And then we're going to really work. Draw the hip back down. Push your pelvis back down onto the mat and feel those abs working as you come back up to the center. One more to this side. Drop the knees down. Let the hip come up. And then draw the hip down and back to center. Okay, we're going further this time. So knees drop down. Hip starts to come up. Now the waist is going to raise and the ribs are going to stay flat against the mat. Okay, so work with your waist now. Draw through the waist. Hip then comes down. Knees come back to the center. Off to the other side. Drop the knees down in order. Now the hip and now the waist starts to twist. Work. Draw through the waist. Draw through the hip. Knees come up to center. Keep going, opposite side. Knees drop down, hip comes up, waist comes up. Work through the waist, through the hip. And those core muscles are really working to bring back up. One more like this. Drop the knees down, lift the hip, lift the waist. Keep the ribs onto the mat to start with. And then draw through the waist, draw through the hip, knees come up. Last part of the series now, we do knees down, hip comes up, waist lifts, and now your ribs will start to rotate as well. So we do a little lift through the ribs. Work, first of all, nothing else moves, just work to put the ribs back onto the mat. Now your waist will work even harder to draw back in, then the hip works and the knees come back to center. Off to the other side, knees drop down, hip raises, waist comes up, ribs come up. Okay, work through the ribs. Really get that connection, pushing your ribs down onto the mat, through your waist, through the hip, and knees come back up. One more to each side. Knees go down, hip comes up, waist comes up, ribs lift, draw through the ribs, draw through your waist, roll through the hips, knees back up. Last one onto this side. Knees, hip, waist lifts, ribs come up, draw through the ribs, push the ribs down, draw them down, draw the waist in, draw the hip in, knees come up to center. Well done. So take yourself into whatever stretch you feel you need. You might want knees to chest, you might want to go into a full body stretch. Do whatever you feel you need to do just to loosen off through there. Okay, good. And we will open up through the back now. So come back into your neutral position on your back. Do your feet hip width apart, so we are knees in line with your hips, feet are in line with your hips, shoulders are nice and relaxed. We are going into our shoulder bridge. So imagine you've got that bowl of water sitting on your pelvis. You're tilting the water up towards your head. As soon as you've gone as far as you can with your pelvis, your glutes switch on. So squeeze through the glutes. Use your glutes now to peel your spine up and away from the mat. Okay, on the way back down, one by one, place each of those bones onto the mat one at a time. Really try and make connection through that low part of your back. So you're pushing your spine onto the mat before you're releasing your pelvis and your glutes, and tilt that back to neutral. Okay, a few more just like this. So tilt. As soon as you've tilted as far as you can, squeeze through the glutes and use your glutes to push you up and away from the mat. Try and keep your feet nice and relaxed so they're not pushing into the mat. And again, it doesn't matter how high you go up into your shoulder bridge. That's all as far as you're comfortable to go. As long as your bottom is hovering off of the mat, that is absolutely fine. Keep rolling all the way through your spine as you roll your way back down again. Place your bottom onto the mat and tilt back to neutral. Last one in this normal position, then we're just going to bring the arms in a little bit. Peel yourself away all the way up as far as you're comfortable to go. And then roll yourself back down again. Now, if you're struggling to make connection with your spine and you want to stick at this level, then that's absolutely fine. Just stick with the shoulder bridge. If you want a bit more of a challenge, here we go. So we're going to tilt, squeeze through the glutes, peel your spine all the way up. When you've gone as far as you're comfortable with your shoulder bridge, bring your arms up behind you. Okay. Now, as you're placing your spine back down, you are going to circle your arms round at the same time, coming down. So I'm placing each of my bones one at a time, each of my spinal joints back down one at a time, and I'm going to finish with my arms back down in this neutral position. So I'm rolling all the way up, peeling up. Use your glutes to drive you up into that position. Shoulders raise, arms come above your head, and circle your arms around. Keep your glutes activated. Keep placing each one of those bones down one at a time as you circle your arms round by your side at the same time. Let's do a few more. Tilt, peel up, bring the arms up, and circle your arms down at the same time as popping your spine back down one by one. Try and time it so that you end up with your hands at this point here, with your arms back in neutral position at the time you place your bottom back down onto the mat. It takes a little bit of practice because you sometimes want to use your arms a little bit too quickly. So just slow the movement down, slow it down. It is not a quick movement. It's a real precise placing each one of those bones back down. Think about lengthening through your neck and your shoulders coming away from your spine. Spine? It is as you come back down. Right, last one. Tilt, peel up. Arms come up. And then draw your arms round as you place your spine back down one by one. Lovely. Good. Okay, take your spine into whatever you need. You might want your knees to chest again. If your knees to chest, draw some circles. Or you might want to go into a full body stretch. So just hold that stretch position, whatever feels good for you at the moment. Good. Okay. And when you've done your stretch, just take yourself back into your neutral position on your back. Okay, so we are knees hip width apart, feet are hip width apart. If you need to for this one, we're going to go into some single leg folds, and we're going to, if those of you that are comfortable to do this, we're going into double. So if it helps, pop your hands onto your pelvis so that you know what's going on there and we're not rocking and tilting too much. If you prefer, you can keep your hands down by your side. It is entirely up to you. We're going to start single leg first of all. So breathe in, activate, so just switch on through those core muscles, and breathe out as you lift your leg up onto coffee table. Breathe in as it pops back down again. Breathe out, we change to the other side. Breathe out, come up. Breathe in to pop back down. Breathe out as you lift. Breathe in as you pop back down. We're just doing the prep work at the moment. Okay, now all I want you to focus on as we swap from one leg to the other is what happens at the changeover. So as you place one foot down and start to lift the other one, that's the time the pelvis starts to do its rocking and rolling all over the place. So really concentrate as you transfer popping one foot down and transferring to just starting to lift the other leg. We want that to remain nice and steady. If you've got a little bit of rocking and rolling going on, stick with that level. If you're ready for the next bit, then we go onto coffee table with one, and then we're going to come up onto coffee table with the other. Pop the second leg down, pop the first leg down. Start with the other leg. Leg comes up, second leg comes up, second leg goes down, first leg goes down. Okay, good. So just alternate through that. Now, as you're doing this one, watch what happens, because as you go to lift that second leg, if what's happening through here is your tummy starting to bulge and go forwards, then we're not quite ready to lift that second leg. So it might help for you to pop one of your hands underneath your tummy button onto your pelvis. So as you go up onto one leg and you start to lift that second leg, if all of a sudden your tummy goes and pushes forwards, it's not quite ready for that second leg. So just go back to single leg. Okay, good. Watch what's happening. There we go. Okay, so if we're managing that and we're doing all good, so what we're going to do now is we're going to come onto coffee table. We're going to lengthen and lengthen and see if we can just do a little lower down. Bring both legs up, bend, bend, back down, back down. So I'm going to give you an easier version for those of you that are not lifting both legs. So we go coffee table, lengthen, lengthen, slightly lower where you're comfortable. Don't arch your back, draw the legs back up. Coffee table, down, down. That's the level if you can do both legs. If you're still on single leg, that's absolutely fine. Come to coffee table, lengthen that leg away, lower it all the way down towards the ground and watch your pelvis stays level. Bring it all the way back up again. Coffee table, pop back down. Other leg comes up. Lengthen, lower it down, keep the pelvis stable. Lengthen it back up, come back to coffee table and pop back down again. If you're double legs, we are coffee table, lengthen, lengthen, lower where you're comfortable, bring them back up, bend, bend, down, down. Opposite leg starts, up, up, lengthen, lengthen, lower, bring them back up, bend, bend, down towards the floor, Okay, just a couple more rounds of that if you can. Everyone's still with me? Looking good. Okay, one more round. And we're doing coffee table, lengthen, lengthen, lower it down. Watch what happens. Don't let the tummy dome too much. Back, back, down, down. Perfect. Okay, take yourself into a bit of a stretch. Good. Good. Just keep stretching. Push all the way towards your toes, all the way towards your fingertips. Perfect. Okay. See if you can from here. Now bring both feet, knees. These are knees. Knees in towards your chest. Okay. Draw them in and just start to create a little bit of a rocking motion through your back. Good. Now, when you're ready, start to just lift up through the upper part of your chest, but it's not a head poke. You're going to peel from the upper part of your chest. So we're coming into this rocking position, okay? You get the movement going bigger and bigger. You know what's coming next. We're going to have to end up sitting without kicking your legs out. You're going to end up sitting up tall. If you don't roll up, that's fine. Just sit yourself up if you can. And we're going to sit with the legs out straight. Sit right up onto your sitting bones. Shoulders into back pockets. Arms are coming out in front of you. Okay. Now for this one, we start right sitting up onto your sit bones. And you're going to imagine you've been karate chopped in the middle. So the exercise starts up tall. Then you roll off your sitting bones. So you're arching through your spine. And we're going to work at placing each one of those bones down one at a time onto the mat. And then your arms come over the top. Now, if you were on your way down and you got halfway and it kind of just lose it and the legs come up a little bit, that's fine. Just keep working from that stage, because the aim is to work to be able to keep your heels in contact with the mat all the way down. Okay, that's the easier bit. It's harder coming back up. So if you were struggling to keep your feet down, you may just want to sit yourself back up and have a go at that again. If you made it all the way down and your heels stayed in contact with the mat, we should have ended up in this position here. So we are basically our full body stretch. You're going to bring your arms up towards the ceiling. When your hands come in line with your eye line, you're going to start to peel up through your spine, through your abdominals will kick in, and we'll end up sitting back up tall again, okay? If anybody's really hurting with their back or it's not feeling right, just go back into this rocking movement, and that will just create some mobility through your spine. But if you're still with me, stay up in this sitting position. We're going to start again. We're going to imagine we've been karate chopped through our abdominals there. So you're coming off your sit bones. You're rolling yourself down onto the mat one by one. Keep control, so it tries to stay the same speed. There's a bit in the middle where you just think, oh, I'm going to go, and you feel you're going to completely roll down onto the floor, but just try and control it. On the way back up, draw your shoulder blades away from your ears, hands come back up so they're into eye line. It's hard as you come up. Try not to grip up with your shoulders. Keep that space between your ears and your shoulders as you roll yourself back up. Super. Let's do 2 more if you can. If it's too much, again, just go back into that rolling like a ball motion. So we're rolling yourself down. Keeping contact with the floor with your heels. One by one, place that spine back down. Lengthen your arms away from you. On the way back up, when your hands come in line with your eye line, we're rolling. Oh, there we go. There's always that really tough bit as you work through that low part of your back, especially when your back's really stiff. That does make it means your abs have to recruit even harder. So let's do last one. Roll yourself through your pelvis, one by one, placing the spine back down onto the mat. Arms come up and over, lengthen. And on your way back up, we're going to end up sitting. So shoulders away from your ears. Peel back up. Oh, that wasn't a good one. There we go. There we go. And then just end up sitting. How are we doing for time? Plenty of time. Perfect. Good. So let's end up in this sitting position here. And we're going to just have a little bit of a lengthen through the hamstring. So tuck one leg out of the way. Keep your other leg out nice and straight. So for this exercise, you're going to pivot through your lower part of your back. So everything is facing towards the leg we're about to lengthen down towards. Bring your chin down towards your chest and your hands go down as far as you're comfortable to go. Now, you may be super flexible. You may be able to get your chest onto your knee and your nose onto your leg and your hands wrapped around the base of your foot. If you can do that, brilliant. If you're like me, just go as far as you're comfortable to go, okay? But take it to that point where you've got a really nice stretch through the back of your leg, okay? And when you've got to the point where you feel like, oh, that's a good stretch, I wouldn't want to go any further, just hold it there. And as you take a deep breath in, keep that position, try not to ease out of it, hold your position as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, just imagine your back is softening and just see if you can creep your fingers maybe a millimetre further forwards. Breathe in, hold the position, don't move anywhere. Breathe out, see if you can lengthen. Good. Breathe in, hold your position. Breathe out, see if you can soften through your back, melt your body down towards your leg. And on your next in-breath, walk your hands back up through the leg, back up to sitting. Good. Swap around onto the other side, tuck this leg. And obviously, if this leg really doesn't tuck out the way, it doesn't matter. You can put it kind of anywhere, as long as it's not out straight at the minute. So if it's just a little bend, then that's fine. But if you can tuck it right out the way, then go for it. Twist your hips round, so we're facing the leg we're going down towards. Fold forwards from the hips, so you're lengthening through your spine. Bring your chest towards your knee. And the important thing with this stretch is that you don't end up doing this. The leg has got to stay straight along the floor. And if that means that you are here to do the stretch and that's enough for you, then that's fine. But if you can bend forwards into it, go as far as you're comfortable, so you can you'll feel the tension and it feels semi-uncomfortable, but it shouldn't be painful, okay? Hold that position, work with your breathing again. So breathe in, hold the position, and as you breathe out, see if you can just soften your chest towards your knee and lengthen your hands away from you. Good. Breathe in, hold your position, and breathe out and lengthen away a little bit more. Good. Breathe in to hold. Breathe out, lengthen. Good. And now breathe in, and on the last breath in, you're just going to walk your hands back up through your legs, so you're gently coming up through your spine. Okay, bring the legs so that they're in the nice sort of V shape here. Sit up nice and tall through your spine. We're going to do a sitting roll down, so we're going to walk the hands forward in front of us. So start sitting right up tall onto your sit bones. If you're really struggling in this position, you can have a little bit of a bend if you need to, but go for as straight as you can. Okay, for our roll down, you do chin down towards your chest. We're going to curl the spine, so we're sort of allowing this arching to happen. And the aim is to put your nose into your tummy button as you curl yourself down. Once you've gone as far down as you can, then you're going to walk your hands forwards between the legs here. So again, some of you may be able to get flat against the floor and nose to the floor. That's brilliant. But if you can't, don't worry about it. Just go to where you're comfortable. Hold the position. Okay, now as you breathe in, hold. And as you breathe out, see if you can just encourage your back to soften, melt, lengthen, anything like that. And just see if you can get a millimetre further forwards with your fingers. Breathe in, hold your position, and breathe out. See if you can just stretch that tiny little bit further forward. Breathe in to hold, breathe out, lengthen a little bit more. And on the next in-breath, you're going to walk your hands back up towards you, so you're up. Sitting up nice and tall again. Perfect. Okay, let's bring the legs together. Bring one leg over the top of the other leg, and you're going to hug it in towards your chest. So I've gone right leg over left. I'm going to hug my right knee in towards my chest, and at the same time my right arm is now going to go behind my back, and I'm going to twist into this stretch. Okay, try not to sink into this. Lift your chest as you open your chest. It's a nice stretch through that chest area. It works if you put the hand as far around behind as you can, so it's really drawing that back shoulder round and you're getting a nice twist through the spine. Good. Just hold that for another little breath cycle. And then gently release the arm so it comes round, and then swap the legs over. So we're going to bring that other leg. So I'm now putting left leg over. I'm going to grab hold of it with my right arm, and my left arm goes round behind me as far as it's comfortable to go. And I'm going to twist round to look towards my left side. Good. Okay. So as far around with that hand behind you, try and take it as far around as you can, so you're really opening up through the chest. And just watch you haven't sunk into it. Lift your chest and twist as much as you're comfortable to go. Super. Good. And then just release it. And we're going to take you back. Spin yourself up and round. We'll come back onto all fours. So we're going onto all fours. We're just going to switch on your glute muscles a little bit more. So if you're comfortable on all fours like this, go for it. If it's really not great for your wrists, this is perfectly fine to do it in this position. Okay. So get yourself nice and comfortable. Hands underneath your shoulders, hips underneath your knees. We're going to extend one leg back. From here, I want you to turn your foot so your toes are pointing away from the midline. So I've extended my right leg back, and my toes are going to point out towards the right hand side. From here, I'm squeezing my glutes, and I'm going to lift to this point here. And we're going to squeeze and relax, and it's all happening through your bottom. We're going for about 20 squeezes. Squeeze and relax. What I'm not doing is swinging my leg up and down, okay? It's literally squeeze, relax, squeeze, relax. I haven't been counting, so we're aiming for about 20. Let's do 10 more. Squeeze and relax, squeeze and relax, squeeze and relax. Good. Here we go, 5 more. Squeeze and relax. Keep that toe turning out. This way we get more activation through the glutes. It's probably really burning now. If you need to stop, do that. Lower the leg down, slide it back into neutral. And then we go with the other side. So slide the leg out. So I've gone left leg back, toes turn out so they're pointing towards the left. Watch I haven't just rolled onto my right knee. So I'm keeping my tummy button in that center line again. Squeeze through your bottom, and it is squeeze and relax. Squeeze and relax. Try not to swing the leg. Nice and slowly squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. Good. And again, we're going for about 20. So there we go, about 10 more now. So squeeze and release. That's it, good. If your wrists are hurting, come down onto your elbows if you need to. Squeeze and release. There we go, 3 more. Good. And last one. And bring that leg back in. Sit yourself down into your child pose. Stretch your legs away from arms away from you. My anatomy is not great today, is it? So stretch your hands away from you. Try and keep your bottom sitting onto your heels as much as you can, and let your head soften and relax down onto the mat. Okay, good. Walk both of your hands round to the same side. So we're getting that stretch through our waist. I'm going to bring both hands around towards my right hand side now. So my left side is really stretching and releasing through there. Good. Keep breathing. A few deep breaths from that position. Good. And walk both hands round towards the other side. Good. And just feel that release through your waist. Lovely. Great, and come back to the center. We're going to come back onto your hands and feet. Tuck your toes under, so you're coming right up onto your feet. We're in this down dog position again. Just again, walk through your calf muscles. So again, that nice stretch through the back of your legs. And then when you're ready, bring your hands towards your feet or your feet towards your hands. So you are at the bottom of a roll down. So you're at the bottom here. And we're going to think about just lengthening up through the legs, tucking your pelvis under as you're peeling your spine back up. Trying to keep your shoulders away from your ears as you're coming back up to standing. We're finishing up in this standing position. Once you've got there, just start to circle the shoulders again. Good. Lovely. Take a nice deep breath in as you come up and breathe out as you circle around. Good. Breathe in, arms come up. Breathe out as they come down. Good. In your own breath cycle, breathing in as you come up, breathe out as you come down. Let's challenge balance a little bit more. Breathe in, come up onto your tiptoes. Breathe out as you come down. Breathe in as you come up. Breathe out as you come down. Lovely. Breathe in to come, oh, that wasn't a good one. Breathe in to come up, breathe out to come down. We're going into a full body swing now. We're going to breathe in as you come up. Bend your knees, swing your arms through, and then push all the way to the ceiling. Just hold it. Okay, when you're ready, bend your knees, slide through, come all the way up. We're on tiptoes tiptoes at the end, hold it. Okay, last one, bend your knees, sweep your arms through, really push. Lengthen, 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 hold it, keep your shoulders back and down, lower down through the heels, lower down through the arms. Well done, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed that today. Good. Well done, everyone.